Well, hello, everyone. I'm Maggie Mongan of Brilliant Breakthroughs, Inc. And today I have the privilege of interviewing Dr. Beatriz Olson, who is committed to sharing her life experiences and wisdom to support others in their wellness transformation. Her book is titled Mind Body Secrets. I like the subtitle, which reveals more of the story. It's a medical doctor's spiritual and scientific guide to wellness. It's important for you to know who Dr. Beatriz is because she is an expert in women's endocrine health. She uses mind-body techniques and is an integrative medicine physician. And she has cared for 6,000 women for more than 3 decades. Dr. Beatriz, welcome.
Thank you, Maggie.
And before we begin, could you please be so kind to share with us what endocrine and integrative mean?
Right. So endocrinology is the study, in-depth study of hormones. And hormones are small molecules that get secreted from your glands in the body. And these hormones send signals to most tissues in the body. So hormones are responsible for our development. Children have growth hormone and growth hormone gets secreted mostly at nights. So hormones are secreted by different times of the day based on the day-night ancestral cycle that our bodies have experienced over millennia. So testosterone, for example, is generally associated with male hormone. It comes out of the testes, but it's responsible for men looking like men, for having beards. Estrogen is responsible for the development of breast in women, hips, and for the ability for us to be able to reproduce. Our ovaries produce different hormones at different times of the cycle to prepare a little egg to fly off the ovary and land in the uterus. Presumably, if there has been some sperm in there, there will be the possibility of developing an embryo that will evolve eventually to be a new baby. So all of these hormones really regulate everything about us. We have melatonin, a hormone that gets secreted at nights when it's dark, and that's what initiates our sleep. It gets secreted from the pineal gland. And of course, we have thyroid hormone, which is responsible for some of the metabolic energy of our body, about how our energy, our weight. So it has many regulatory functions. And all of these hormones work together in our brain at different centers. So they may be being secreted from the pancreas, but there's hormones that get secreted from the pancreas that actually talk to the brain. So it's a constant interaction of all of these little, it's like a city that talks to each other and you're not even seeing it, but each one of them has a little taxi driver that's going someplace and sending information. And that's how the city of your body works, So it's a very fun field. Sometimes there's too much hormones and they cause problems, and too little hormones cause problems. So my job as an expert and a board certified endocrinologist is to identify the symptoms of lack or too much and then bring you back to balance.
Great. Thanks for that explanation. Now, can we possibly handle you sharing integrative?
Yes. So I learned about integrative endocrinology. Actually, I became an integrative endocrinologist after I learned about mind-body medicine. I had just finished after my endocrine fellowship, I went to the National Institutes of Health. And I spent 4 years there doing research and helping run one of the clinical units. And when I left the NIH, I went on to start a clinical practice. And I discovered that all of my brilliant learning and all of my education wasn't enough to help people. And it was just at that moment, the gift that I received was that I found out about Deepak Chopra. Mm. And I told my husband, Eric, who's an orthopedic surgeon, Eric, we have to go learn from Deepak Chopra. So off we went to La Jolla to learn mind-body medicine. And there I learned that the diseases that I learned to treat in conventional medicine actually begin in very subtle ways, and that we can prevent the process. There's a 6-step way up to when we get sick. And if we caught it earlier, we could prevent disease. That blew my mind because I never learned that in conventional medicine. And that was from Deepak Chopra. And I also learned about meditation. I became a meditator there. I use mantra meditations and I use mindfulness meditations to calm my nervous system. And ever since I've used that. And then I developed an integrative medicine community. So every month I met a whole group of people came together, and naturopathic doctors, chiropractors, psychiatrists, people like me, people like my husband, orthopedic surgeon, all of these people came together and we discussed how is it that we're looking at humans differently and how can we integrate our knowledge and learn from each other. And after 17 years of doing that, I had a completely different mindset of how it was to take care of people. And my patients were so satisfied. People want to have a medical condition that gives them an excuse as to why they're not feeling well. Sometimes we don't feel well because the problem is not a hormone deficiency, but because we're sad, we have soul distress, we feel dissatisfied in our lives, we don't feel seen by our family, by our work, we don't seem valued. And that affects us emotionally, psychologically. We behave in odd ways because of that. We get funky habits that we don't need. We stop interacting and being fully ourselves. And identifying those things can help us figure out how it is that we can be better. For example, women that take care of their families and take care of everybody, but disregard themselves, tend to have weight problems. So understanding that self-care matters, that perhaps including yourself in the circle of care might take you to a new level of existence that not only makes you feel well, but allows you to offer yourself with much more abundance to others and to serve in a different way. This is what integrative work is about: mind-body medicine, mind-body spirit medicine, combining it all together to help humans be empowered and heal themselves.
It's truly sacred work. Thank you for being a healer.
Thank you.
So here we are. Here we are in our 5th of 5 videos here. And I have a very important question for you. Which chapter is your favorite or most unique, and why?
Well, this is an extremely difficult question to answer, Maggie.
I believe it is for you because they're all fabulous.
Well, each of the chapters is like a baby.
Mm.
And they're all like in a package of a family that gives purpose to the whole.
Yes.
So whereas, and if you, I guess on different days, I would offer something different. I would say that chapter 1 disrupts the idea that we have to stay and be how we are, that we have to settle for what it is. Mm-hmm. It disrupts the idea that others are going to fix our problems. It disrupts the idea that we're not okay because we're getting older, because we have a choice as to how we age. So chapter 1 I love because it actually gives the steps to how it is that it's possible that any one of us can transform the way that our life is and start where we are and end up in a completely different place that we own and that we feel very proud about.
Well, I agree with you that chapter 1 is very powerful because this is a transformation process, and transformation doesn't start until you take the first step. So beautiful.
So I think that's, and I would like to complete with the fact that I love chapter 9. And chapter 9 is about truly a vulnerable space for me because you have to be vulnerable when you're trying to make a difference for people.
Yes.
People need to know that you're in their lives, you're in their context. We share a humanity together. We're not separate. We all are made of the same stuff. We suffer the same stuff. We all want different things. But again, we all want to go to a different level. So I was very vulnerable in chapter 9 because I talked about what I think spirit is, what I think spirit energy is. I opened my heart to talk about what the soul is for me. And I gave many, many experiences of how it was that I came to actually believe that we have a soul and how it's deeply connected to us. And I feel that I went into the deepest level of my consciousness, outside of my medical field, outside of the evidence-based experience, which is hard for an academic physician to do like myself. And I allowed for the fullness of myself to be seen with the hopes that I connect with others in a way that makes them think that they matter. We matter. What we do matters. And being connected to others and being the best that we can be with compassion, positive regard for others, generosity, and finding dignity and meaning in our lives is what makes us truly live and truly be remembered. That's why we want to live a long time, to be able to finish this way.
It's noble work. It's noble work living a life to its potential. And it's this body of work that you shared with us that we call a book is definitely noble work for you. So I want to thank you for taking the time to do it, because as you move through your chapters, you develop something very beautiful from take the first step to, and this is my view of what it's all about. And it is vulnerable, and it was very beautiful to read. And you set some wonderful examples of people to adopt some of your practices. It was very interesting to read, and I enjoyed it immensely. I imagine everyone will once they pick it up and read page 1. Because that's where it starts. Or, with that foreword or the preface that you have, and they're both, really, really beautiful from the very beginning to the last page. So thank you for dedicating your time and wisdom to birth this beautiful book called Mind Body Secrets.
Maggie, thank you so much for helping me and being a partner in bringing this book forward so that it reaches the world. Thank you.
My honor. Thank you. So it's hard to believe. It's very hard to believe, Dr. Beatriz, that this is your 5th of the 5 videos in the Get to Know the Author Dr. Beatriz Olson series. Isn't that amazing?
Remarkable.
So everyone, please feel free to go to BeatriceOlson.com. That's BeatriceOlson.com to learn more about the amazing Dr. Beatrice and her book, plus a million other things. But the book is titled Mind Body Secrets. And we want to thank you for your time and watching the series.
Thank you.